the New Orleans Saints, they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs 32-29. It was a close game, and one can say that they could have won the game if this linebacker, I forgot his name, I think Alex Anzamore, something like that, if he recovered the fumble, but it went out of the end zone and it became a safety. So this game was closer than this. I mean, it was very close. Drew Brees struggled in the first quarter. And I mean, when in the first half when your offense in the first half isn't going and the Chiefs are pretty much rolling and your defense only gives up 14 points, I think that's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Like their defense played phenomenal. I feel like Trey Hendrickson was on every play pressuring of Patrick Mahomes. There was a play where they sandwiched Patrick Mahomes and it looked like he got hurt. I was actually worried when that happened. But I mean, I think the Saints, they are legit. I'm very confident in how far the Saints can go. I'm confident in this team, in this group, for how they look now. My problem with the Saints, and it will always be my problem until they prove me wrong, is that I always put in a lot of stock into them. Last season, I said I think they're a Super Bowl sleeper. 2 years ago, I thought they should be one of the favorites to make the Super Bowl. I've been saying the Saints should be making Super Bowl for like 3 to 4 years now. But something always happens.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Minnesota Miracle, the botch play call, the botch interference call against the Rams, them losing to the Vikings last year in an upset. Something always happens, which is why this year I'm more hesitant to be really all in on the Saints than I usually would have.
Yeah. I think you look at this game against the Chiefs on Sunday night, as much as they did lose the game, they impressed me. Because Drew Brees came out, had the worst start to a game in his NFL career. I think it was 0 for 6. He had never started 0 for 6 in his NFL career. But then when he settled in, you saw Drew Brees just brings a totally different dynamic to the table for the Saints offense. They are a totally different team than they are with Taysom Hill out there, because as much as Taysom Hill has been good, I guess, in his few starts, he was better than I thought he would be. The offense just is not nearly as good with him. Alvin Kamara doesn't play nearly as good with him because teams are stacking the box. And Drew Brees really just brings a totally different dynamic. Losing Michael Thomas is definitely going to hurt them. I don't know. He's going to be back in the playoffs?
Yeah.
So that will be good to get him back for the playoffs, hopefully healthy, which is, I guess, the reason they benched him. They know they have their spot pretty much locked up. Get him healthy
and
for
they
the playoffs.
don't win without Thomas.
Exactly. He brings, again, like I said with Brees, a totally different dynamic to that offense. So getting those two guys back and healthy, I think, was very important for this team. And like you said, the fact that they competed with a Chiefs team who they were firing on all cylinders, and early on, the Saints defense looked really good against the Chiefs. And of course, they did what the Chiefs do, and they put points up on the board. You're never going to stop them from doing that. They stayed in the game despite a terrible start from the offense, and the fact that it was a 3-point game in the end is impressive for me. It was the most impressive loss that I've probably seen all season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this wasn't a bad loss, and like you said, Drew Brees is so much better in that offense because he's been in it for years.
Yeah.
He knows where everybody's going to be at. He knows who to pinpoint, who to target. He knows players' tendencies, and he's just a better quarterback. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's going to be one of the best of all time. He's broken records before, and he just goes through his reads and his progressions so much more fluidly than Taysom Hill does. Even though I think Taysom Hill brings a different dynamic to the offense,
yeah,
I think you can still get what Taysom Hill brings to the table, even with Brees out there, because you bring in Taysom Hill on packages anyway. Like they ran a QB power, so you're still going to bring in goal line formations. You can still bring in Taysom Hill, and now that there's tape on Taysom Hill actually completing passes, you have to be more wary about what they're going to do in what situation when Taysom Hill is out there. But, I mean, you look at this team, I think getting Quan Alexander really solidified that linebacker group. They're much faster now. Demario Davis is a Pro Bowl level talent. I know people feel that he got snubbed. Trey Hendrickson, who is the perfect complement to Cameron Jordan so far. That's what people thought Marcus Davenport was going to be, but it ends up being Trey Hendrickson. He's having a phenomenal elite season, but I always go back to they look great in the regular season, but what can they do in the playoffs? See, I think they can go far. I think they can make the Super Bowl, but in this NFC, it's just so wide open. or if the Saints face Tampa again, are they getting the Tampa they played earlier in the year, or are they getting a much more firing on all cylinders Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense and defense? You don't know what's going to happen, because I will never doubt a Tom Brady-led team. I will never doubt them. I'm still picking the Bucs to make the Super Bowl, but I think the Saints are right there. And I think if you're going off what they've shown, if you're going off what each NFC team has shown this season, the Saints should be the pick to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, in my eyes, the Saints and the Packers are the two best teams in the NFC based on what they've shown us. And then from there, all of the rest of the NFC playoff teams are really competitive, but you just don't know, like you said, what team's going to show up. Are the Bucs, how they went and beat the Packers? Is that the team that's going to show up? The team that beat the Saints, is that the team that's going to show up? Yep. Or is it going to be the team that's lost them 5 games and been totally flat? You just don't know. And then you look at the Seahawks. Their defense is starting to come together, but they've also put up performances like they did against the Giants where their offense just looks miserable, can get nothing going, and you don't know what you're going to get out of them. The Washington football team, their defense has been incredible, but can their offense provide enough to keep them in a game? So, I think that the Saints are the best bet on both sides of the ball right now in the NFC, right there with the Packers, but they are not by any means a lock like the Chiefs are. Like, in my opinion, the Chiefs are head and shoulders above everybody else. The Saints are just number one to me in a group of anybody that can be that team from the NFC.